1 year. Wow. Can you believe that we're here?
It's wild because I remember us sitting in the Peer Space
Yeah.
that we rented out for an afternoon brainstorm sesh
Yep.
to talk about how to bring the podcast to life.
And here we are.
And the only thing that I say is, especially when we get into the menopause time period, is people are like, what specific workouts do you need for that? And I'm like, it's not that you need different workouts. It's that for, people who are going through these transitions across the lifespan, or especially females, is it's almost more important. I don't want to say it's not important for males, but we have higher risks of bone loss and sarcopenia and, fracture risk and things like that. And it happens kind of earlier and faster when it comes to us. So it's not that it's different. It's that it's maybe just more important. And that doesn't mean it's not important for men or anybody else. It's not. It's just that, if you have a menstrual cycle or you're going to go through menopause, these things are really important.
And then I suddenly got into calisthenics and bodybuilding along the way, just because people had seen my content and was like, hey, you should try these disciplines. So that's how I got into those two things, competed in calisthenics, just locally in Canada. And then bodybuilding, I got my IFBB Pro card in 2019. And then I did my pro debut 2023, which has also led me to go to my Olympia debut, also 2023. So that is pretty much me in a nutshell, just doing all the fitness things and just having fun along the way and just kind of documenting it through and sharing my journey on social.
So if all of that sounds super overwhelming and you're like, Tara, you just gave me so many different ways to do mobility. How do you want me to do it? Pick 3 or 4 of them and do them just 2 times a week for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. That is more than most people are doing. And that is more than probably a lot of you are doing right now. So start small. And I guarantee that as you feel the difference in your body, you want to do more and more. And if you're at least adding it within your workouts, I think that's a really great start. But maybe adding it 1 or 2 times a week at night or in the morning for you to wake up or wind down. It is so cool to see the progress, even just a couple times a week. And isolation is 1 muscle, 1 joint, typically like a bicep curl, tricep extension, and so forth. Again, we want those compound lifts more in the beginning of your workout and more of the accessory or isolation exercises at the end. Speaking of accessory exercises, accessories typically help build your compound lifts. So for example, maybe a rear delt or a reverse fly could help you with your pulling motion, maybe help your pull-ups. A bicep curl actually can really help build your chin-ups. So those accessory movements help build those compound movements.
It takes one person to wake you the fuck up and remind you again of that power of choice, of that free will. Whose story am I living? Yeah. Here's a story for you real quick, because I'm full of them. There's 2 fish swimming upstream, me and you, 2 little fishies in a sea, swimming upstream. Another fish, older fish, old guy, swims by us the other way downstream. He goes, what's up, girls? How's the water? We're just like, what's up, man? Cool. And we keep swimming a little bit further down. And eventually one of the fish turns to the other fish and goes, dude, what the hell is water? They didn't even know they were swimming in water. Well, one of the fish didn't. And when I read that story, it's actually a graduation speech. You guys can look it up. I think it's called What is Water? But I share that because how many of us are swimming in stories and environments and beliefs that we are not even aware of.
Take inventory on what you're doing, what feels good and maybe what doesn't feel good, and be honest with yourself. I've talked with so many clients on their consult calls. They'll be like, yeah, I work out 5 times a week. And I was like, what is the average amount of times you work out per week over the last 3 months? And they'll say, well, it's closer to 1 or 2 times. So you don't actually work out 5 times a week, which is okay. That is okay. You just need to be realistic on how you want to move forward. So I can't go from going 1 or 2 times a week to going 5, 6, 7 times a week. That's just unattainable, unrealistic, and not super sustainable for you.
I think the biggest thing is I wish I believed people who told me that I could be an athlete. Yeah, because you show up in a place and if you're not somebody who identifies as an athlete or capable or whatever, then you just assume that you're not and you'll never be. And so I wish that I had some belief in self earlier, because once I did finally say, I'm going to go ahead and believe that now and step into that, I got so much better, so much faster. And then with reps comes ease.
I feel so much more grounded and connected by seeing myself kind of open up into this human being that I am so grateful to be today. And the most present thing in my life right now, and you'll hear a lot about this over the next few months, is that I am building an app. I've shared a little bit about this on a couple other podcasts, but we are building a fitness app that is going to help women open up the app and realize how much they can take up space and be themselves and be the best, strongest, most badass version of themselves. And that is a work in progress and will be this year. It's been like such a beautiful thing for me, my mental health, and just like who I am and how I show up for the world. Like I don't know, I wish I did it sooner, but I'm so grateful that I did it when I did. And now I have all of these tools and resources on my belt.
It's just so interesting to me how I think we all find, not all, because not everyone goes to therapy, but whether it's therapy or breath work or any of these like practices, you really do find them or they find you more so like when the timing's right, you know?
I wish I knew it was okay to do things that feel good for you, even though it's not what everybody else is doing. I used to think if I go out to dinner, I need to like finish my meal, or I need to eat when other people are eating on vacation, or if they're by the pool all day, I have to be by the pool all day. But if you're a sheep, you won't ever grow. Like you got to be different. You got to be yourself. So I think I wish I knew it was like okay to have goals and to literally do things very differently than other people, eat different foods if that's what makes you feel good, do different workouts than your friends are doing, because strength training was not cool when it wasn't cool. But yeah, I think it's like I wish I just gave myself permission to do the stuff I intuitively knew would make me feel better, but I was just not confident enough to go do.
Do I have to track my protein? No, you don't have to. I don't anymore because I intuitively know how much I'm eating a day. And can you do this? Yes, of course. Again, this comes with time and patience and putting in the reps. And again, I eat very, very basic. So I know what I'm eating every day, like super, super basic. And I think a lot of times people are always looking for like this new thing, whatever, but it's like, if you know what works for you, why not just replicate it in as many different ways as possible? Like rice, beans, and chicken, for example, I can have that in so many different styles, right? Of course, I can make it Mexican. I can do an Indian. I can make it Italian. Maybe not Italian with beans, but like, you know what I mean? So have like your base and you can do so many things from there.
But I also think being able to understand that like as living, breathing humans, we're different every single day, and that we have to have way more compassion for how we're showing up and how varied that looks, because our body isn't supposed to do the exact same thing every day. And I think overarchingly, we could all greatly benefit from responding instead of forcing.
How do I know what's true? And I'm saying, try it. I'm not going to try and convince you they're wrong. Number one, from a behavioral perspective, psychology perspective, if I try and convince you they're wrong, very often you're going to go the other way. Give it a shot for 30 days. And like when I say actually, like give it a shot, do it, track it, be aware. Which one is more realistic? It's like you get to decide, but the only way to know is to try. And I don't think a lot of people realize is when you sign on with a one-on-one coach, a lot of what you're paying for the coach to do trial and error, by the way. Like the coach isn't giving you things being like, this is the final plan. Like this is everything you need. It's I'm going to watch you execute this plan. And then based on how you respond, I will adjust as needed.
Not about the skill or the end result. It's more about just doing something new. It's like releasing the expectation that you have to be good. Like I walked into that class and I'm like, it literally does not matter what I create. It doesn't matter what level I'm at. Like I'm not here to create a masterpiece. I'm just here to try something new, to turn on a certain part of my brain and tap into some creativity. And that can all happen regardless of what it is that you create.
We are strong ass women. We're taking up space. And like the whole term of being broader is, you know, standing up for yourselves and believing in yourselves. And so this app is going to make you feel that way. It's going to give you the opportunity to show up as you are in this big, strong, badass version of yourself. Thanks for coming to this Tara Talk. I hope you're taking something away from this episode. And if so, I would love to hear about it. You can connect with me at The Tara Talk and at Tara LaFerrara on Instagram. A few ways you can help support the show and help spread the word. You can share it on Instagram, tag at The Tara Talk and at Tara LaFerrara. Send an episode to a friend, and please leave a review if the show is resonating with you. It takes just a few minutes, and it means so much to help this show grow, and it helps me to continue to bring on badass guests for all of us to learn and grow from. I am so happy you're here and excited to be on this journey with you. Until next time, be a badass with a good ass.